We're just actually trying to navigate the mid-range team fights there. Just he belts out so much damage. I do think Morgana has decent mid-lane damage, to be fair to the champion, but yeah, I think it's still very unlikely. Bottom lane and mid lane matchups shown. Means Origen will have to choose where this Lulu goes and pick their full lineup.
And now NL will likely not have the potential to freeze a wave that long, because if Amazing picks up the Elise he was looking for earlier to go for that massive chain CC combo, it's incredibly hard for mid laners like Maple to keep clearing that wave and avoid getting dove, because Elise can reset. Worst case, Gragas goes in and gets a wild growth anyways. So if Origen get ahead, they should have learned from their mistake last game and can open up the map more.
Well, I don't think we're going to see Callista and Jinx in the same team comp, but maybe back to the Anivia here. She actually does a good job of belting out team fight damage just as a champion, high AP builds. And
I mean, look at the peel. Again,
tremendous peel. Even without the Tahm Kench, it's probably enough to keep Niels alive for a very, very long time. Also, both of Origen's wins came with Peke on Anivia. These games are going 40 minutes plus. Anivia and Peke can get away with these slow laning phases, and then when the Chaos button hits post 30 minutes and fights are in the jungle, he's been able to crush and control.
One thing that's weird though is Origen do not have a true tank here though. Amazing on Elise, not the tankiest of junglers, even if she does go Cinderhulk here. But with the breaking through that front line, Flash Wolves can do it, I would say, fairly easily.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially late game Caitlyn against a bunch of squishies is just...
It's a field day.
Perfect. Would they go with an Aurelia though? It's something that Stake has played in the past. It just feels so weird in the context of this world.
It's too clunky. It gets nullified by too many of the abilities on Origen's side.
Look at it, like there's so many things that can stun him, and he's not a true tank if he jumps in. It looks like I don't see them changing in last minute though.
Nope, locked in. So more importantly, just the Black Shield negates the stun.
Wow.
If Aurelia can't stun the target she's sticking on, and then Wild Growth kind of counters that, Flash Wolves are going for a completely different approach in these mid-game fights where they just want to overrun you. Like, you're looking at one threat, trying to peel well another threat, and they just pile in. But if the initial opening engage doesn't work, they're done for.
Something to watch for then. You know, they had some initial engage in their previous red side game with Malphite top coming in for the Flash Wolves, but here they're going to try to go forward once again. Caitlyn, though, still in the back line, could put out some good damage from NL, but Origen with a bunch of ranged champions, a bunch of mages.
And again, another game where Origen, if they successfully lane swap, they nullify a lot of the advantages that potentially Flash Wolves have in terms of lane matchups and in team fights. Like, Aurelia in a lane swap is ludicrously bad. Aurelia out of the lane swap coming into mid-game team fights just sucks against this lineup. So by all means, Flash Wolves want normal standard lanes.
Stake needs to hit Trinity Force very early on in the game, and then Mercury Treads very early on as well, and then just not let Origen scale up. Otherwise, he's this hybrid damage dealer that doesn't fit against all the CC that Origen is bringing, even though, yes, Aurelia does have some of the highest tenacity in the game thanks to the passive, but it's like, you're just going to die.
Well, we'll see what happens then, and if you think he's going to survive and make the team fights work anyway, then you can say Flash will win this one by tweeting #FWWin. But if Origen will close out the series in Game 4 and move on to the top 4, it's #OGWin.
And finally, both supports learning that this matchup is incredibly passive in the early game, and are finally both bringing Exhaust to the table. If you're getting games that are not bloody at all, you want Exhaust, because the late game value from that Summer spell compared to an Ignite is just, it is a whole world difference.
Interestingly enough, I would say the exhaust value is higher for Mithy in this matchup because he can exhaust Aurelia when he engages, but Origen doesn't have like true exhaust target. Maybe if he's like, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? He lands his hook, flies into the middle of the team and throws an exhaust and blocks down. I'm still a little flabbergasted by the Aurelia pick. I don't think it fits. Like it needs to snowball really, really hard, which hasn't been Flash Wolves' strength.
Find Stake. Look at the bind, it will land, and the Chompers will go in, so Stake will flash. But if it's Chompers,
level 1.
Yep. Niels picks a suboptimal level 1 skill. Now, Minigun is only 30% attack speed at rank 1, and you will hit level 2 before you reach the turret. So in terms of pushing in a lane swap, Niels shouldn't be held down too far.
Yeah, lane swap even more valuable right now for Origen. Stake kind of avoids playing with no flash in that sense, though. If it is a lane swap, that is the one good thing for Flash Wolves here. Because going into an Elise matchup there with no flash, you will get Dove level 3.
Minions have spawned.
So this kind of solidifies the lane swap here for Origen. They could actually give level 2 experience on Krugs here to Mithy and let Amazing Soul take a camp.
So Neil's recalling.
I think he's buffering the recall. See if somebody shows.
Yeah. It'd be a very peculiar recall, but then he walks through a ward, so lane's
He
completely
saw it
given
fade.
away.
He saw it fade though, so they know that they know, you know.
Well, I feel like if this happens a lot.
They saw him put it down too.
This happens a lot
Just
where
not
someone
good.
walks over a ward that dies, and then because they weren't looking at their screen, they didn't see it. The fact that they didn't ping, maybe, but it honestly, it doesn't matter in the context of this game.
Just to annoy a lot of people out there. Sub-optimal Krugs right there.
Yeah, he doesn't sit in the brush while attacking his Caitlyn.
And he doesn't use the AoE twice on a small one. If you have a double play Q AoE, man, just why don't spread that out. Spread the love. Spread the damage.
All right, so already misplays from Flash Wolves.
Game losing
A
misplays
worrying
right there.
trend for them coming into game 4 here. They need to win this one to stay alive. Sword Art. Oh, cute play steals one bit of the red buff to get level 2.
And then nearly kills himself.
Watch Peke flash.
But a 4-man
watch
dive.
Peke flash QE and get the kill.
Stakes already low though. He has a guaranteed stun as Aurelia here. Lanes though, because Flash Wolves spent all of their spare resources on the mid lane gank. Top lane turret is going to die here.
Peke's like,
Bot lane
gang?
turret not getting hit at
I
all
never
yet.
died. I'm back in the lane 10 seconds later. I don't know what happened.
Look at all this gold kills.
Couldn't get them all.
Loses 10 seconds on his recall. Peke, yeah, he's okay in this matchup with TP, can recoup a lot of his losses. Bot lane will go down after all.
Maple's running cleanse. I don't think it's...
I think he's really worried about Cocoon, Binding, Anivia Q. There's so many types of stuns that can land.
Nah, probably rather.
Yeah, it's not a pick
Yeah.
for the matchup.
In an isolated lane matchup, perhaps it's not the best, but later in the game, cleanse does actually bring a lot of value, especially if Maple goes for a similar build where he wants to get Abyssal up front, which he ran into double AP earlier today with an AP jungler. Actually makes more sense if he goes for that build again.
I want to point out that Karsa has 1 CS up until now. He hit level 2 on Rek'Sai.
Just double the CS.
Whoa! At 4
Still
minutes.
falling.
More levels than he
Yeah,
has
so much.
CS right now.
Look at
Most
the
supports are like that. Look at Morgana.
First jungler at Worlds to achieve that feat. Congratulations.
You spawn at level 1 with 0 CS. Congratulations, everyone did that.
Fair enough, freak.
I'm sorry.
Pedantic.
I know, I'm
Love that word.
It describes me so well. Talk about Anivia ulti mechanics like it matters.
Good last thing here by Peke.
Yeah.
Seeing the AoE stun. Rank 1 though, so Peke is one of the players that likes taking wall at rank 4 on Anivia. Generally, Anivia players don't opt for that because it is just too mana inefficient to even use that, weave that into a spell rotation. It's only useful if you can combine and gank and you kind of go for an all-in style approach. Amazing. Not looking to gank here.
I've also seen Peke successfully dodge some ganks with it. I actually like it more when he holds his skill point at level 4 until he's about to go aggressive or until the gank comes, but he skilled up the wall really early here.
Big push under his turret. We're going to see how much of that Soaz can actually deny here. Soaz 25 to stakes 12 so far. Despite Flash Wolves having first blood, Origen is actually ahead in gold right now.
It's
For a
amazing.
farm.
It's Amazing's farm. He's been power farming the jungle this whole time.
Yeah, he doesn't even care if he's spotted. He walks straight through mid lane and says, well, farm alarm, I'm getting level 6 here for my Elise power spike, you know, strongest spiderlings.
One more Spiderling.
But again, also more farm efficient in terms of average. It's a small difference right here, but because it's very accelerated lane swap happened, you have both of these 80 carries in awkward. Just in terms of map influence from Anivia.
Very true.
Just playing the farm game from as far away as possible.
Neil's actually looking to set up a bit of a freeze in the bot lane. Do upon them as they do onto you.
Right now is +6. Soaz actually equal to stake right now, so in as much as we had a lane swap game, we got the lanes back to normal pretty quickly. The top laners are only, 6 CS behind the AD carry. Now a flash play on towards Peke. Oh my god, he's immediately an egg. And once again, kill goes to NL this time.
Spread the love between them. Peke doesn't actually have time to use a summoner spell. So Flash Wolves setting up a pretty heavy camp towards that mid lane. That was even the small window that Niels had freezing that wave, even though now the freeze is broken. It's immediately punished by Flash Wolves with that roam mid.
That was greedy. I just watched that play. Sword Art was on a ward for over 5 seconds before he passed it into the mid lane for that flash play. That was ultimate read by Xpeke. He could have easily made it out. All he had to do was drop the CS. Stop farming.
Looks like the rest of Origen, though, wanting to take as much as they can, making Karsa jump over the wall to his own red buff, but really not a lot gained here. Origen still doing better on farm as we expect, but they are dropping a lot of kills now in this game.
Got the CS, though.
Yep.
Back in lane, quick teleport from Peke, trying to keep up in experience. The game itself, despite the 2 deaths, has pretty much even gold for now, although a large wave is hitting NL on the bottom side as well as the top side, so this is actually a decent lead for Flash Wolves.
It's a weird, really efficient build. If you calculate in that later on in teamfights, Xpeke dying will not generate any gold, so you'll be like 0-3. It does give him more experience towards Flash Wolves as a team.
Well, keep in mind, if you get CS, you actually roll back the death streak anyway. So
Tiny bit, yeah. But it requires a lot of CS for that to...
Every 100 CS counts for 1 death. And it's not like a quick thing as when you hit 100, it's all the way. It's just gradual over time.
Yeah, linear, yeah.
An item that he has over NL here.
Something we haven't talked about, though, if Xpeke can lock Maple into this lane, the remaining members of OG form an incredibly strong and potent siege squad. Especially since Maple doesn't have teleport to join. If you get Lulu combined with Morgana there and Amazing on the Elise, around Niels as a squad there, you can just throw out these skill shots. One connects, facilitates the other one, and you can zone people off tower, so that may be something Origen will look for later.
I think it's one of the main ways Origen has a chance of winning this game, specifically with the Anivia wall as well, setting up sieges at turrets, walling off one side, and then going strong forward. Sword Art...
No flash this time.
Yeah, doesn't have the flash to continue that gank. Even so, it would have been into a black shield, which is a really difficult gank to make work.
And this is why the Morgana pick actually works, because Aurelia wants to dive in, even use a minion to launch herself forward, but then if you have a black shield on Niels, you can just kite her.
Peke with a good setup here. He's gonna, I think, lose it eventually because the minions are doing some damage, so he's gotta, there you go, has to burst that one.
Every single CS. Nice job by Peke.
Only took
That's
2
incredibly
spells.
hard, by the way. Lost league on Nivea.
He must be diamond.
It's like this guy's diamond or something.
Oh, Niels and Mythy back into the duel landing up against NL and Sword Art. 80 carries, honestly, roughly splitting it exactly. Soaz and Stake doing the exact same as well up the top lane.
And Amazing actually doing a really good job shadowing this lane here in the bot lane. Classic cool, but...
Finding hits though, but there's too much of the team around. Amazing's gotta run away. Black shield broken, hook! Woo. Nearly lands.
Look at Peke, he can now push mid lane, even put a tiny wall down there, put some pressure. He's afraid to kill that tunnel.
I think for a pretty good reason.
He just wants to bait him into coming in them walls. That's it. He does that every time. He's like, you want to come this way? Sure, go ahead. Wall. Gets a couple extra hits here.
Fortunately, Anivia not exactly the best turret killer, so not a ton gained. But Origen get the ward control back over this bottom jungle. Couple wards down from Mythy, and the Scuttle are picked up as well.
So aside from the 2 ganks that Flash Wolves successfully pulled off on Origen in the early game, this is the slow game. This is Soaz getting his Rod of Ages in the top lane. It's Stake not rushing to a Trinity Force. The AD carries slowly working up to their item breakpoints, and no one even going for an early dragon. It is the slow, measured approach that we've seen in most of these matches.
This time, Amazing has been really better around the ball to really identify the weakness, which was the bot lane. He's just constantly been hovering around the bot lane. Xpeke sped up now for a wall combo. Can't quite connect. And Soaz is fine in the top lane. So the only lane that could really get ganked there really was the bot lane. So Amazing constantly hovering around that, just getting Niels comfortably into a position where he can start carrying the game later on. I think Origen is fine with this approach.
And I think if this game does stretch really into the 40-minute mark without a large discrepancy, the Anivia Lulu combo in particular, to speed up the Anivia in order to get a wall, I think can be easily game-winning for Origen. It's their big edge in this matchup because they can get the team fights split up, and that allows Niels to then pretty much kill whoever he wants because they can separate the tanks from the damage dealers. And even though they're all squishy, it won't matter because it'll give them time to take down the tanks if they can execute it properly.
Yeah, I think Origen, that was actually the combo they ran initially because it turns Wall from just a defensive peeling tool into actually an offensive weapon, because if you want to usually move up with Anivia to get in wall range, you just expose yourself. It takes too long to get in that position. Speke now again teleporting back to lane with like 75% mana. He just really doesn't want to drop any bits of experience. Already on 40% here, and that siege is not going to work. It's just like last game. Maple will just wave clear, wave after wave.
And you can see that even though Niels had that short-term freeze earlier on, the 80 carries are actually back NL's way. Niels just not really out farming that one anymore. Top lane matchup. Soaz and Stake, they trade hard CC, and now
The minions though helping Soaz here. Good positioning by him.
Kite back into the minion line. Couple 100 extra damage per second because of that one. The early average play pickup for Niels does help quite a bit, though. He's actually earned almost 400 gold from that so far. That's actually helping keep the gold as close as it is.
And Stake is still 800 gold away from Trinity Force. But Origen is fine not forcing on that early advantage either, because Rod of Ages versus not Trinity Force Aurelia would be better for the Soaz.
Yep.
But at the same time, I think it's just Origen being so confident in this late game team composition they put together. And when they get to the late game with gold even, they're fine playing this out for the next 15 minutes.
Well, and this is finally a game as well. We've had two, I'm talking about Soaz here, we've had two Darius versus Gnar matchups where Soaz can't push to win, and now two Lulu versus X matchups where Soaz is able to push. And Origen can actually play around one of their side lanes finally. Yamato Cannon talked about it on the analyst desk, and I agree with him, where there's this player to leverage in Soaz in the side lane. Getting him a good matchup I think is super relevant here, and you're seeing lanes and champions and turrets getting worn down from it.
I fully expect I had mana here, because then Origen could actually rotate, look for a dive in the mid lane. They can no mana here, but Maple kind of left his tower exposed.
Well, Niels is there. He did the early rotation.
He doesn't have teleport. Had to recall at some point to get upgraded boots and everything else, and Peke out pressures.
And now slow farming in the bot lane again though, panning my camera over. He really takes his time clearing his waves. That's how he wants to get subtle CS advantages, but you lose the map. You can do that when you have a winning top lane or there's nothing left to take, but it just loses you so much pressure. And there's only so much gold when you're freezing that you can get. It's like 20 gold for every minion, but it goes slower because you keep the wave frozen, as opposed to people taking towers, pressure, deep vision, jungle camps on the other side of the map.
Well, specifically, the Dragon is up right now while trying to freeze, so it becomes a much more punishable freeze. They've already lost the mid turret during that, and NL doesn't have much lifesteal from this, so much better reaction here from Origen this time around.
If Niels didn't stop to throw the Chomper first, they actually would have chain rooted NL. The Chomper actually activated right after he clicked on the Lantern. If he didn't stop for Zap, that would have been probably at least heal burn, maybe a bit more. Small misplay by Niels, but Dragon, of course, has been on the map for a while, and with the bot lane being forced out, actually, this is actually a time that Origen could have pressed hard for this play. They choose not to. It's going to be the farm game. Krug's going over. Easily picked up by Niels, and again, if we just contrast the two players' gold incomes, despite the fact that NL has a kill, the Jinx has more gold.
And the only matchup that's really far behind is Expect in the mid lane. So you can see on screen there, he's down 700 gold. But everybody else on Origen just excelling, because overall they're ahead of gold while their mid lane is down 700. So that's a big gold disparity in the remaining lanes. And because of the nature of the Anivia Victor matchup, if you don't die on level 6 on that all-in, it doesn't matter that you're down 700 gold, because all you do is literally just AFK farm those waves.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at Soaz against Stake, you can actually use that advantage.
Nice crit there, not far away, and nice jump to the minion. Just to look cool. Stake, they're losing a bad trade. The stun's gonna land. Peke really wants this one. Forces the flash away.
Yeah, that is what's expected. A lot of tenacity being built up by Stake already. Mercury Treads, plus he is Aurelia, who naturally has more tenacity the more enemies that are near. He should have the gold for Trinity Force
It's
now.
still not quite enough. Did you stop for Merc Treads?
Oh, geez, you're right.
If not for Merc Treads, you'd have the item right now, but...
Well, if not for
really
Merc Treads,
so
he might have
died.
dead, so.
Sure. I mean, I can't complain on that one.
Classic Stake, staying alive.
So much effort was put in the top lane by Origen that Flash Rolls were able to bring Karsa and NL over to the Dragon.
Could see a cross map here. Push mid into rotation on top and dive on stake. Could be a play that Origen's looking for right now. Moving Niels into mid lane to hold.
He's got to hold his bot lane though. It's so pushed in towards him now. So has the way to fight with Stig, but Amazing's right there. Good. Oh no! Actually cued a minion to hit Cocoon, but doesn't matter. He's got tenacity.
Yeah. Also, when the Cocoon hit, that's when the stun timer starts ticking. But he's going to complete his movement from the Aurelia Q anyway, so he basically gets unstunned the instant he arrives at his target. I will say, like, it's yet another really slow game from Origen and Flash Wolves. And this, while it's okay in the context of this particular matchup between these two teams, since they're both slow, the other teams in this world are watching this, SKT as well as AHQ, two teams that play a much faster game style. AHQ kind of dominated Flash Wolves every time they played each other in the LMS. And obviously, they're preparing for their matchup against each other, but if it gets to the semifinals with either one of these teams, there are so many vulnerabilities that are open in the early to mid game between these teams. But as we are now, it's kind of like an arms race about who can get to late game safer.
Just who can invest more and then pull it all out, you know, 20, 30 minutes later onto the game.
And what a fantastic style it is, right? The slow, methodically, not boring at all approach with the Anivia.
Crepo reliving the glory days when he was a relevant League of Legends player.
This was the best time of League of Legends for Crepo. He's had this huge smile on his face this whole time.
Stuns land, so there's no damage follow-up. Sorta overextends, and he's gonna go down to Niels. Jinx is happy about that one. So as also buying some time with the Summoner Teleport. And L in a bad way, taking more damage. The flash knock if the rocket hits, and Peke from downtown gets the kill. But the fight isn't done yet. Flash Wolves waiting around the wing.
Oh,
the CC chain.
But Carson wants in. Black Shield is used on Peke. 3, 2, 1. He's stunnable. Niels goes down because the Black Shield went somewhere else. Maple forced a flash to run. More kills coming through. Stank is here for the cleanup. At least a little bit, but Carson will be another casualty. And it's 4-2 for Origen.
Yeah, really bold aggression right there. After Flash Wolves lost 2 members early on in the fight, they're like, you know what, 3v5, we can get something back. We got some powerful people up, but it really just cost them more because now Origen gets to continue this push on to the turret and take a pretty big edge 20 minutes into the game.
First real lead they've had now in game 4, 3,000 gold up for Origen. And if they close this one out, they make top 4 at Worlds.
Yeah, first real fight we've seen too, as the teleports activate, basically, as Victor is roaming down.
Yeah, now look at this player. Sword Art goes in, but he overextends. He drops almost immediately, and the CC chain just overall, it's just so strong. And especially in these longer, extended fights from Origen, binding Cocoon just comes up many times during the fight, whereas kind of Flash Wolves, they only have one trigger. They go in, blow it up, and then if that works, you kill him. If it doesn't, you're probably going to get kited.
Yeah.
Flash Wolves, one thing they're very good at is getting something after dying, though, and NL's already up in this top lane. He's going to stay around, feels safe enough. Turret goes down, Binding still hits, but there's no follow-up.
Even so, the Avarice Blade is still ticking for Niels. This is a rather incredible Avarice Blade, I would have to say. Plus 599 gold for Niels already in this. You can see the fight that we just saw as well. How much work Maple nearly did right there. 7,400 damage just in that one team fight. Apparently that statistic is incorrect, so I apologize to the viewers. Never mind, me.
So it's important.
I think he did a lot of damage though.
I would almost wager he did
Go ahead, say it.
tons of damage.
But it wasn't.
Wasn't.
Yeah.
We work together here.
Say it. Steal my pun.
We work together here. It's not a pun. What do you... Not everything that's a joke is a pun, Crepo. How have you not learned this so far? Flash Wolves trying to claw back in. 4-4 in kills. They're down a turret. They've got the first dragon. Next one comes up in 145. But Origen right now are starting to really take control now. Amazing is going very squishy, by the way. Rune Glaive into Riley's Crystal Scepter. There is truly no tank on this team.
Yeah. And around 25 minutes is when these pushing side lanes that Origen have in terms of Lulu actually start opening up another win condition for them, which is the Baron. They can use the side lane pressure to draw people away, then get deep vision into jungle, and then really use their lineup to punish Flash Wolves. Because Origen lineups is the strongest when Flash Wolves have to face check into the dark, into a binding, into a cocoon, into zap and trap, into wild growth. There's so many tools, and maybe I can even wall you in. If you at any given point lose complete vision on a Baron, you'll likely lose the game at that point.
Yeah. I am wondering though, Stake is kind of in this mid-game power spike that he needs to be able to execute on. And when it gets to the late game, I think he's going to completely lose the power. But with a Spectre's Cal, Mercury Treads, and an Aegis, it's hitting an immense amount of magic resist 13 minutes in. He will be at about 140 when he goes into these fights, which is actually a little lower than I was expecting, but still decently high, and have the large amount of tenacity coming in here. He's going to need to make it work now, otherwise I think Flash Wolves loses the game.
Mythi's build, though, such an incredibly greedy build. He gets the Talisman of the Nomad's Medallion. He gets the Forbidden Idol. He's like, okay, I can upgrade, but I like this whole, gold generation thing going on, and I just want some more CDR. Double Forbidden Idol. He's sitting right now on 1.4k HP. He can get bopped in a single... If he accidentally looks the wrong way at Maple, Maple can QR him and just finish him off.
That's ridiculous.
But look at this, Flash Wolves have control over the Dragon area. They've got the wards down first. They've got the Scuttler as well. You can't remove that. You gotta wait it out. Origen pressure mid as a reaction to this. And then right back they go down towards the Dragon area.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big Dragon right here. Obviously, there's one Dragon for Flash Wolves already, but they're just not in position to contest this one, and they're kind of losing out on this mid-game power spike. I think Origen's well on the way to outscaling.
Yeah, look at the zone control. Traps can close off an exit, Wall closes off the other one, so incredibly good understanding of their composition. If Flash Wolves can close the gap, they can do a lot of damage, but you can close off exit number 1, close off exit number 2, and if Flash Wolves don't even find door number 3, they can't even enter the fight.
They did lose a little bit of farm in the bottom lane there. You can see the 80 carry behind 30 here as there was a push from the Flash Wolves minions that just got absorbed by the turret. Minor loss there, not the worst thing in the world. Stake, do what he can, itemizing mostly magic resist. He thinks he can just stun the enemy 80 carry, otherwise just surviving mages.
Something that does happen though to a lot of pro players is that they forget about the mid laner summoner spells. And at one point this fight can turn if they actually land CC on Maple, commit to him, and then get surprised by the cleanse. Actually happens very often, more often than you would think so.
Yep.
If Maple eats some CC, sidestep the follow-up, he can turn on these fights, but looks that's not gonna happen.
Look at all this damage. A
Fake is not here.
play. Soaz pulls the black shield, and this team is ready to go to war. A knockup on a Mythy. Stake is in range. Now how much damage can he deal? Neil's off on the side, but here comes Maple. Morgana's already dead. The flash engaged. Stake has 2. He's on the chase. Slows down Soaz. Getting hit up by Niels, but doesn't have enough damage yet as a 2-item Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, the incredibly greedy build of Mythy is punished right there. He died right before his ultimate was going to proc for the stun, and it's a big swing in this fight. Maple also trying to chase down Soaz.
And more importantly, look at Expeke. He was not part of that fight. He was in the bot lane base, walked to top, then he teleported and was like, you know what? You guys are losing. I'm not going to join this fight.
Well, damage. Now Karsa is the one who's greedy. Niels gets one back. Soaz gets out.
Such a nice play there by Soaz and Niels. Really just saving each other and coming up on top. No way should Origen have been able to pick up a kill off the back of that fight, but they do.
I'll ask you the question though. Yes, Expeke had teleport, but it looks like they weren't planning a clear fight. They didn't know where Expeke, when he should teleport. Lack of communication there because they were seeding 4-man so aggressively. And they got surprised by the flank from Karsa, who actually only just got a support, so overall that should have still been a winnable fight by Origen, but the TP was so late. Watch that again. Karsa in the bottom left of your screen is flanking. Maple's running to the mid lane right now.
Yeah, this is where Peke would need to start channeling his teleport right now so that the chase would stop for Flash Wolves, but they stay in there. Then he channels his teleport in a ward behind the fight and realizes he should cancel it. Just a bad teleport choice from Peke right there. Origen ends up burning their summoner spells, and if not for the Flame Chompers there, would have suffered more casualties. The CC chain continues.
Peke gets hooked!
Oh, that was bad for him. Gets away just in time. Nearly out of health. Shields keep him away. Of course, he has the egg either way, but still, that is a low health Anivia who can't be in this fight. No teleport either.
NL did take a fair bit of damage in that as well, though, so that's going to make it hard for Flash Wolves to push down this. Plus, we have this threatening Jinx coming at them with a Lulu. This is such a breaker in this game. That's why I still think Origen has a big lead.
It's more than just the 2,000 gold. We got some great champions. They're hard to track down, too. 3 Mercury Treads on the lineup. They're hard to pick up.
Yeah, also later on, Mythy's obviously now finished up Talisman of Ascension, so they can get this team out of there, but later on he can also just get him a kills. That's another removal for Niels to keep him alive. That means Niels can probably go for a quadruple attack damage item build and then just rely on the Mikhails, combined with the Black Shield, keep him out of harm's way. Because there's only 2 spells he needs to be careful about. That is the Aurelia stun and a potential hook from Sword Art. Both are incredibly easy to use Mikhails upon.
Yeah, he needs to get that as soon as possible. Another thing I like, actually, is this is the 3rd Victor game Maple has played and the 3rd Anivia game Peke has played. But they've done unique builds in all 3 matchups. Like, yes, Maple did go for the Abyssal Scepter, but now it looks like he's going for Death Cap as a second item instead of the Lich Bane, because he knows he doesn't have the Ghost this time to walk around and get the Lich Bane procs. And Peke did the Athene's build because the early defensive necessity in this matchup, and then quickly transitions to the Liandry's. I love the adaptation from these guys.
Yeah, Maple couldn't win fights with this repetitive damage build, so he's more going for a Shotgun Victor. He walks in, takes the CC, cleanse out Flash, QER, and hopefully blow somebody up in the process.
And of course, by contrast, Peke is all about the burn damage. He's got no magic pen, and he's got no big AP burst. Soaz also with an interesting build, gets Ardent Sensor, so really building around this Jinx. As long as you shield her, he's gonna have bonus attack speed and magic damage on hit. Can really take games over.
Why not?
I mean, Niels, hang on, Soaz going on Sword Art here. He should be able to get popped here.
Auto attack doesn't even need to ult it, gets the kill picked up. Soaz tanky enough. Niels does not get knocked up. A great cocoon by Amazing, buys a lot of time, and Origen are not done. Karsa goes down. Kill lead for Origen.
Peke was not there.
Yeah, teleport had to be canceled, but it didn't matter because this Niels-Soaz combination is so powerful. They don't even need Peke, and he's actually their trump card in later game team fights in the jungle. This is Origen looking like they're going to be moving on to semifinals if they continue to play smart.
Yeah, and I just love Niels' playstyle and attitude. Coming in as a rookie this young, going from challenge and only like unproven player, and he just doesn't care. Nothing phases the guy. They build an entire composition around him, and look at the damage he's doing right now to Snake.
They get the root on Snake. He can't stun anybody. There's a shutdown. More kills coming through. Mithy flashed away from Maple, and Victor just isn't doing any damage here. None that matters. Origen walk away with another kill to their name.
And it goes to show the danger that Flash Wolves have put themselves under. No true tank to face check. They were already down a member before that fight. Maple would have to expose himself there, and it's in the jungle, so they're already having to worry about the Anivia. Really, the cards are in Origen's hands. There's so many ways they can outplay Flash Wolves right here.
Flash Wolves still, the Master's getting something back. Mid lane outer goes down, despite Anivia's best efforts. The game is within 4,000 here. Dragon's Tide. Righteous Glory, I believe, coming in next for Mithy after the Talisman of Ascension.
That means he
It
sold.
also builds into Aegis if he wants a Banner of Command.
Yeah, he sold a Forbidden Idol.
Yeah, he did. He sold a second Forbidden Idol.
It's like we don't need defense, offense.
Yeah, I
It
feel
is
like
the best defense.
the Mikhails would have been good, especially with how much they're empowering Niels. But at the same time, it's still very small amount of CC, and Niels has the confidence to just outplay.
At the same time, though, it does mean that the only use for Mikhails is if Black Shield can't prevent the stun from Aurelia and the hook from Thresh. It's literally the only case where it's necessary, so it's almost too safe in that regard, because Niels, he's actually really good at positioning and staying out of harm's way, though. And worst case, if he gets hit, Lulu will help him anyways.
Right. He's got ways to dodge everything, so going for that kind of a build here. So as the scaling build has paid off, that Rod of Ages doing just fine for him.
Didn't know we were running a kiss cam this time.
Just has to happen.
Yeah.
Has to happen, Crepo. I actually wasn't watching the pip cam, so I completely missed it.
I did too.
Some fine gentlemen in the crowd. I saw you guys, don't worry. I'm paying attention to you, London.
Hey, you're saying as if we aren't. No one laughed at my underground joke though, so now I'm kind of salty about it. It's okay. Origen looking for the death rush. Revealed by the trinket though, nothing picked up. Oh! That's a hook out of Soaz, that's a flash away, but Karsa does not get the knock-up thanks to Wild Growth. There's no tank for the getaway.
Both teams with an interesting exchange there. If they don't fight, we can actually explain it. Usually when you see a lantern come out, you want to try to mad life the skill shots to the position where people are lanterning to, but Maple actually didn't decide to click that lantern, so it was a bit of a bait on both ends there.
I do also think that Origen is playing a little bit sloppy. They keep using Peke as their split pusher, even though he doesn't have his teleport. Origen's so strong and confident right now with the Soaz-Niels combination in the mid lane that they're getting away with it, but they are opening themselves up to a clean engage from Flash Wolves if Flash Wolves decides to go for a 5v4.
I mean, if you're playing Froggen champion, gotta keep farming.
345 CS, 33 minutes in.
There we go.
How about that?
But the thing is, Stake is actually out-farming Soaz here in terms of expectations of a matchup. Stake actually doing quite well, 3 completed items plus the Merc Treads. This is a durable Aurelia who can wreak havoc on the back line. So if she can get in alongside some other Bash buddies, there is some real threat here.
One thing we haven't taken into account is you don't need hard CC against the Jinx. If you can keep her moving, when she's not orb walking, trying to auto-attack at the same time, you're effectively CCing her damage. And Origen's composition relies on that damage to win fights. So when Niels is under pressure, under threat, the damage drops significantly in these fights, and that could be a potential comeback for the Flash Wolves.
Meanwhile, Amazing just now going into his first real tank item. After the Rylai's has the Aegis of the Legion in, we'll see if he goes for Locket or Banner of Command afterwards, but finally a Magic Resist Aura in for this team. So far, Origen have managed to dodge most fights they didn't care about. And it will be double Aegis, by the way, here for Origen, so I expect Locket from Amazing, Banner from Biffy.
Yeah, that would be the logical choice for these guys. And so Origen not. Now they have Soaz down in the bottom lane, which kind of limits their mobility within the mid lane side, so Flash Wolves will be able to draw this one out a little bit longer.
Remember how Origen last game or 2 games ago tried to go in, realized if we kite, we're actually more prone to win these games. Flash Wolves could take a similar approach once NL hits 4 items, because he's going for the best damage build on Caitlyn, getting IH PD now. If he finishes up potentially Lost Whisper, also getting like a Band-Aid, Band Scepter, just some lifesteal, he could actually kite well in these fights. And if Niels can't connect and chase in these fights due to the zone control a potential Stake engage has on them, then NL can actually shred through the front line.
I'd actually rather, well, it's weird because even though there's no like true health tanks, Blade of the Rune King is actually still more DPS than Bloodthirster. And it's cheaper as well. He's behind significantly in gold under Niels, who is stacking up an Average Blade and has 4 kills.
But he may just go straight Lost
shortcuts.
Whisper.
That is a possibility as well. Then even as a 4th item, still taking more shortcuts and catching up sooner.
Stake abandoning the split push. He's actually roaming down to the mid lane, so he set up a slow push at least. The Flash Wolves in about 2 minutes can use that to their advantage. Expeke realizes it is in base right now with the home guard, so Origen know how the split push game works, and they're trying to stop it in the setup phase.
Stake looks for the play. Niels feels confident with the black shield on and chunks Stake out.
We're really seeing the vulnerabilities of Stake's Aurelia right here. It's getting towards late game. He can't even engage on the target he wants to reach. Niels is too fast for Stake to even get in range for a Blade Surge. Like, unless they get some ideal flank, they're already looking to get 5v4s, and they're not even accounting for the peel of the Anivia, and they're still incapable of getting these fights.
Yeah, the zone control coming out of mid lane, even without the Anivia, that split push. Now a split push is set up in the bot lane, so the exact same story that we were telling about the Flash Wolves now holds true for Origen. And look at that grit.
Puts the rocket
He's gone.
Oh no! No one blocks it out, and NL is gone.
Heal burned as well there, so this is a powerful push for Origen because finally Peke has arrived.
And here they go into the mid lane. AD carry missing is a big deal. Anivia wall blocks off the moves and the turn's down.
Signature Anivia push, ulti on the left side, wall on the right side, 4v5, inhib drops.
And now do they risk going for Baron right now? Karsa does have the ulti, pops it to get right up towards that jungle. Does have flash, does have smite. There are no wards inside the pit right now for Flash, but they can go in.
Well, it's a death cap Victor, but he's really far away, and this Baron goes down so fast. They need a way to stop the steal attempt, though.
Chomper's on one side, Karsa can still get in.
Yeah, this is buying a little bit of time. You can go in for the steal.
Doesn't quite land it, a good lantern out, but a clutch smite from Amazing. Another stun lands, Zap goes in, no kills.
It's a bold move, though, to go for a Baron, relatively unnecessary.
But with that,
yeah, with that, they do snowball the game, so.
Origen is poised to move on to the semifinals. Already up 2-0. Baron in hand. Superior team composition for the late game. And a massive power spike for Niels, who has just completed his last Whisper.
That is a very big jinx. Soaz gets to solo hold the mid lane with no competition. Dragon 3 an easy pickup afterwards.
Yeah, this is what we talked about earlier in Champs League 2. A lot of the issues with this Jinx pick versus Caitlyn got solved. You know, Caitlyn trades first, doesn't matter because Jinx is sped up and the auto attacks trade evenly.
Uh-oh, Karsa taking the wrong tunnel, gets off of the wrong exit. There's the last grid to take him out. Niels is huge.
He gets Pixie and Black Shield and gets sped up. He's a one-man army and there's nobody can trade against him because you have to trade almost 2v1 to win those trades, and then the remaining Origin members just follow suit and just throw out CC spells.
Well, when it all comes down to it, Origen put their faith in the rookie AD carry, and Niels trying to carry them into the World Championship semifinal. 6-1 and 3, the siege still happening. There goes the second inhibitor turret.
And Flash Wolves cannot repel this push, especially with Karsa down before the fight. And the thing is, they still have half of their Baron left, so they can use the empowered recalls, run straight to the next lane, and try and work on inhibitor number 3.
Exactly where they go. Red buff on Niels. In case the movement speed wasn't enough, how about a slow on those rockets as well? Niels can crush this game.
And then, yeah, expect as a Nivea right now, only on 3 items, just the utility it brings to the siege, though. If you do get in that position, you shut off exit number 1 on the right side, you completely wall that off. If you want to get to the tower to defend it, you gotta go through the Nivea ulti, you're slowed, and then it's incredibly easy target practice for Mithy and Amazing with Binding Cocoon, so there's almost no counterplay unless you're flanking this lineup. Maple, though, gets predicted.
Whoa, big burst of damage, but it's not enough to win the team fight outright. Maybe there's gonna be some follow-up. SOAS teleports in to be a bit more of a support there. A big 3-man stun, they're gonna go back in. Origen don't find the attacks yet, though. Niels gets Whimsy. Looking for an attack.
So that was actually super greedy SOAS right there. He was killing Gromp, trying to get enough money to recall and buy a death cap and then join the siege, but the team got initiated on, so he had to burn his teleport from Gromp. And now Origen may be a little bit repelled on this push.
Look at the base, so they can take their time here. They're just waiting for the minions to pile in, but Flash was finally adapting. It's the same way like we talked about split push. If you let it happen, it's too late. Niels, Black Shield.
And he's just gonna be fine with it. Doesn't really even care about the turret aggro. Another turret goes down. 8 in the game for Origen here.
You gotta flank this Origen lineup. You can't defend from the front. It's impossible to really do that.
Baron times out, but look at that. You can't go from the front, and a Nivea wall blocks off half the passage. Stake goes in, Sword Art low on health, and here comes the fight. Karsa killed off already. Sword Art should be next. Black Shield was down. They buy a bit of time. Another couple of kills come through as Stake has nowhere to go. A few more shots will do it. Oh. Boom! The kills come in, and this could be the semifinals for Origen. There's only one man left alive. This will surely be the base, and Europe has a semifinalist in the World Championship as Origen win 3-1.
$40 minutes and 32 seconds in, and that one failed quick. But honestly, Origen, their most controlled and strong game yet. They systematically wore down the